If you grew up before the internet existed, before smartphones, before helicopter parents, before scheduled playdates, your brain developed in a way that cannot be replicated. Not in any school, not in any program, not by any app. And the world is only now starting to understand what it lost. Stay with me, because by the end of this, you're going to look at your own life completely differently. Lesson 1. Boredom was your first teacher, and it gave you a superpower most adults don't have. Picture this. It's a summer afternoon. You may be 9 years old. The house is quiet. Your parents are busy. Not with you. The TV has 3 channels and nothing's on. You're bored. Not the bored where you reach for your phone. Real boredom. The kind that sits heavy in your chest. The kind with no exit door. So what did you do? You built something. You explored somewhere. You invented a game out of nothing. You turned an empty lot into a kingdom and a cardboard box into a spaceship. Here's what neuroscience now confirms. That moment of discomfort, that emptiness you had to fill yourself, was actually your prefrontal cortex being built brick by brick. Modern children never experience that silence. Their boredom is gone within seconds, replaced by a screen, a notification, a video. But you learn the most critical life skill that exists. How to create meaning from nothing. That's exactly why, when life hands you an undefined situation, a new city, a new job, a crisis at 2 a.m., you don't freeze. You start building. Lesson 2, you got hurt. And that's the exact reason you're not afraid anymore. I need you to think back to one specific moment. A fall, a crash, a cut that probably should have had stitches but didn't. Maybe a broken bone that you didn't tell your parents about for 3 days. Every adult who grew up free has one of these stories. And what every one of those stories has in common. Nobody came running immediately. You lay there for a moment. You assessed. You decided whether it was really bad or just bad. And then you got back up. Psychologists call this somatic risk calibration. Your nervous system learning, through lived experience, the actual difference between danger and discomfort. Today, we have children who have never skinned a knee. And research from the University of Gothenburg shows those same children report significantly higher anxiety levels as teenagers and adults, because they never learned that pain is survivable. But you did. That's why you can walk into a genuine emergency, a car accident, a family crisis, a failing business, and feel something that surprises everyone around you. Clarity. Not because you're fearless, but because your body already knows, I've been hurt before. I got back up. I could do it again. That's not toughness. That's wisdom the body holds. Lesson 3. The phone was on the wall, and it accidentally taught you emotional genius. Something happened at school. Someone humiliated you. A friendship ended without warning. Something was said that you couldn't unhear. You came home. You went to your room, and you just sat with it. You couldn't call anyone. The phone was in the kitchen, and your mom was using it. You couldn't text for validation. You couldn't scroll until the feeling disappeared. You just had to feel it. That hot, tight, awful feeling in your chest. And here's the part nobody talks about. It passed. Not because anyone fixed it. Not because a notification distracted you. Because you waited and you breathed, and without knowing it, you were teaching your brain one of the most profound truths in psychology. Emotions are weather. They move through. They don't stay forever. Studies from Harvard Center on the Developing Child show that children who practiced what's called emotional sitting, simply experiencing difficult feelings without immediate resolution, develop measurably stronger relationships and career resilience as adults. You did that every single week without knowing it was training. That's why the people around you sometimes say, I don't understand how you stay so calm. They're not wrong to be amazed. That calm was earned, one long afternoon at a time. Lesson 4. You waited 7 days, and it rewired your entire relationship with desire. Here's something the current generation will never fully understand. You had a favorite show, and when that episode ended, right at the worst possible moment, you waited. 7 full days. Not 7 hours, not 7 minutes. 7 days, with no guarantee of finding it again, no rewind, no streaming. And the anticipation, that painful, beautiful, excruciating anticipation, That was your brain building what psychologists call temporal discounting resistance, the ability to choose a future reward over an immediate one. Researchers from Stanford who followed participants for decades found that people who demonstrated patience in childhood, real, structural patience, not chosen patience, had better marriage outcomes, higher income stability, and lower rates of addiction. Because here's what waiting actually teaches you. Wanting something is not the same as needing it. And the thing you want will still be there if you can hold on. That's a life lesson. About money. About relationships. About every impulsive decision you didn't make because something in you knew, wait. See what happens. Now here's what I need you to understand. Everything I just described, the problem solving, the risk calibration, the emotional sitting, the patience, modern childhood is specifically, systematically, and almost completely eliminating all of it. Not out of malice, out of love. Parents today love their children deeply. They're simply operating on a false belief that protection equals preparation. But you're living proof that it doesn't. Because you weren't protected from boredom, you were made by it. You weren't shielded from pain, pain built you. You weren't rushed through emotions, you grew inside them. And here's the part that should stop you cold. The same qualities that feel ordinary to you, your calm in chaos, your ability to sit in silence, your patience, your self-reliance, are now being studied in psychology labs as rare, emergent traits that researchers genuinely do not know how to artificially recreate. They're trying, and they're failing, which means something extraordinary about you, something most people spend their whole life chasing and never find. You were accidentally built for exactly this moment in history, not in spite of your childhood, because of it. So here's what I want you to do right now. Drop one word in the comments. Just one. The thing from your childhood, the freedom, the boredom, the fall, the waiting that you think shaped you the most. Because I genuinely believe the people watching this video are carrying something the world desperately needs right now. And if this unlocked something in you, if it made you see your own story differently, hit subscribe. Every week, we decode the psychology behind who you actually are. Not who you were told to be, who you actually are. I'll see you in the next one.